Hello Mini fans, welcome to another video on my 1989 Austin Mini Designer project, and we are continuing with getting the engine removed, and in this video I'm going to pull the drive shafts out. So let's make a start. Thank you to everybody who's watched the videos in this series. They've been really popular, I've been quite surprised. So thanks all for watching, and if you're a new subscriber, hello. Right, I'm going to make a start on this. The very first job I need to do is to drain the engine oil, which I've not done yet. Normally you would drain the engine oil with the engine warm. This engine hasn't run in months, so it's cold. That's fine, I can wait a bit longer. I also wouldn't recommend that you reuse engine oil, but this had clean engine. I put clean engine oil in this because it all leaked out previously because there was an oil leak on the engine, and it's done maybe maximum 30 minutes of running since then. Not a lot, and the oil still looks really clean. So what I'm going to do is my Turner Ranger here needs an oil change, so I think I might just whack the oil in that and see how it goes. So first job, get the drain plug out. So actually before I do that, it's probably worth mentioning I've got my CJ Autos tilting lift out again, just to lift up the Mini because I need the front wheels off the ground. It's not exactly flat at the moment. I've had to get it to tip backwards, I had to put a bit of extra weight in the boot. So I've got two old batteries in the toolkit in there. Obviously there's no spare wheel, no fuel tank, no interior, it's still very light at that end. So what I've done, I've just put that weight in, and I've put an axle stand under this end as well. I wanted this staying under when I take the engine out, but I didn't want the engine really high, I wanted it low. So this way I can pull the axle stand out, I can tip this forward, the engine will be low, but I'll still be able to tip it back to get in underneath to get to the engine mounts. Hopefully that makes sense. It did in my head. Right, now let's get the drain plug out. Right, join me under the car. I've got a socket on, and I've got a bowl out, and I've got an old bathroom splashback on the floor as well, in case I spill any oil everywhere. This is quite tight. It shouldn't be tight because I've had this off before. So I'm wondering, why has it gone so tight? Interesting. Why does that not want to come off? Let me just reposition slightly. There we are. Cracked it off. So now I take that off, and I just keep the socket on for now. The trick is, is that nipped up again? Is it just a bit? I'm not liking this. Feels a bit stiffer than it should be. So the trick is to apply pressure. Keep pushing. Yeah, it's gone loose now. Keep pushing inwards. Something not right here. Anyway, the engine's coming out anyway, so if it's a problem, I can sort it out. But yeah, try and keep pressing in until the moment everything comes loose. There we are. That's the magnetic drain plug. And the oil is still nice and clean. And that's the oil which has come out. I mean, it looks quite black in the bowl, but it's actually quite golden. I think it's just this bowl makes it look quite black, but I think that can be reused anyway. So I've got an old can of oil, and I'm going to put it in there. I kept the can because I thought that's quite nice. And now I'm going to use it. So I'm going to pour that in there carefully and then we'll get on with the drive shafts. Got the wheel off there so I can see what's going on. So to start removing the drive shaft, I need to take that big castellated nut out in the split pin, so that holds the hub on. I also then need to break off the steering arm where that connects on, and one, if not both, of the ball joints. I haven't quite worked out which one to do yet, whether to do the top or the bottom one. I mean, ideally I'd probably take them both off, but I want to actually want the car mobile even when the engine's out, so I want to put all the suspension back together when the drive shaft is out, because I still want to be able to shuffle it around in the garage, etc. So yeah, okay, right, let's get that big nut off. So I've got my pliers here. Someone's done a half decent job on this and done it a good way around. Well, it appears to be only one leg, which is a bit concerning. Should be two legs. Right, let's just see. A bit of hammering. Is that going to come out? Wrong tool for the job. Let's get a better tool for the job. Ah, okay. There is another leg there behind. I just could not see it. It was in the shadow. So let's get that bent. There we are. That's more like it. So now I should hopefully be able to pull this out. He says sometimes it's easy to get the end of the pliers through, and then you can lever it. Except then you run out of space to lever it from. Let's try that way. Oh, if you're wondering where my brake calipers are, I took them off in an earlier video. Rebuilt them, so yeah, they'll be gone back on. But the car rolls beautifully freely without them. So yeah. There we are. One pin safely removed. Right, now to get a big socket for the nut. I've got a 34mm socket on there, and this might be a problem. It might start just wanting to spin. I've got my big impact gun again, which would be very noisy, but let's see if we can rattle it off. Oh, that was simple, wasn't it? There we are, one castellated nut safely removed. So we'll clean that up, we'll put that safely away, and now we'll probably separate the steering arm here, undo that nut, and I'll separate that ball joint, and then I think I might separate the, do I do the upper or do I do the lower ball joint? You can guarantee whichever one I do will be the wrong one. The suspension's already got quite a lot of droop on it, so might be the upper one. I think I'll undo the upper one, and we'll get that apart, and hopefully we'll get that drive shaft out. Right, back to sensible size sockets, 9/16. Let's see if we can get this cracked off. Problem is, when I put torque into it, it's obviously just wanting to turn. So let's see. If I go all the way back, what happens? There we are. Back around now. Now this will be on a taper here, so I don't actually want to undo the nut fully, But now I'm going to put my ball joint separator in and see whether I can pull this apart. I've got two different ball joint separators, but I tend to have more luck with this one, which is the one where you sort of screw it and it puts pressure on the like the top nut. So also I've left the nut on, and then it basically tries to pull or push the ball joint apart. So let's see if this will do it or not. Did that go? I think that might have just gone there. Yep, it did. Fantastic. So now we can take the rest of the nut off. And pull that down and out the way. And then we'll put the nut back on for safekeeping. So same as before, we'll crack the nut off, which is quite tight. Oh, we'll wind that up. Probably could have done some WD-40 on there, I think. And then we'll get the ball joint separator in and see if we can prise this apart. Well, I wasn't filming that, but this just went with a bang. So what I did, I ended up removing the disc and the backing plate just to get a better access. I hammered that on with a big hammer, and then I just kept winding the nut up until it went boing. So it was either this was going to break or it was going to unping. I did also try the pickle fork type. Let me show you that. But that just wasn't having any of it either. So yeah, normally they're not that bad to do. But now I've somehow got to get this off. It has absolutely mullered the rubber, but that's absolutely fine. I was going to replace it anyway. So now, hopefully, it should come apart. If I get the right tools, I think this should come apart now. Oh, I also put a bit of preload on just with the trolley jack as well. See whether that would help. But I'm not sure if it did or not. Right, with that out of the way, I should be able to try and withdraw this drive shaft from the hub of the upright assembly. And it just won't come out. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see if I can twist it round. It's quite a fiddly job, this. Yeah, how am I going to do this? Push down on here. I'm going to lower that down. Allow me to lift this up. Or should I have just done the bottom ball joint at the same time and taken the hub off? I wanted to put the wheels back on. But you can't put the wheels back on without the drive shafts. You got to put the drive shafts back in, and I kind of wanted the car mobile. I could always use my dolly things instead. That might be thing. Okay, what I might have to do is withdraw the drive shaft from the engine side and then wiggle it around, and I might just have enough room to get it out. Yeah. You join me underneath the Mini now. This is the drive shaft, and it's got this rubber boot on the end. Now there's two ways you can get this off, this drive shaft. You can separate the pot joint, which is this bit, from the engine, but that can be quite difficult. There's supposed to be a special tool for doing it. And if you get that off, it doesn't actually pass through the hole in the subframe. So instead, I'm going to take this rubber boot off. Now, I kind of expected this it's got like a metallic ring here. I was kind of expecting that to have like a clip on it, like you would have on a normal car drive shaft, but it doesn't seem to have a clip on it. It just seems to be like a continuous ring all the way around, as I will demonstrate if I spin the drive shaft now. There's no little like clip. So I'm going to work on this and try to separate this from the cup just by using a screwdriver and a bit of force, and I might try see if I can prise that ring off, and then once that's off I should be able to then probably remove the drive shaft, or as a minimum at least get it away from the pot joint to enable me to get the engine out. I hope that made sense. It did to me. So through a combination of prising with a screwdriver and nipping with some nippers, I've managed to break that metal band. So now this rubber boot should just pop off, and it is, so which is good. So in theory now, if I break the bottom ball joint, I should be able to pop out this whole drive shaft now. So let's give that a go. So now I've taken the bottom ball joint out so the whole hub can be removed. That'll have to come apart at some point and be cleaned up anyway. But now my calculations are correct. This should, there you go, one gunky drive shaft removed. So let's put that somewhere safe. And here's the drive shaft removed. So this is the wheel end, splined where the hub goes on, big threaded portion where your hub nut goes on. Big shout out to hub nut. This is your outer CV joint, and this is half of your inner CV joint. You can see full of grease, and this end sort of can pivot, and the whole thing moves in and out of the pot joint. So all very greasy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bag this up to protect both ends of it, and then that'll go in the cupboard for now, possibly. Or what I might actually do is I may put, once the engine's out, I may put the drive shafts back in and the hub nut back on. That's twice in one video now, hub nut, or is it 3 times? And then I will, that'll allow me to put the wheels on, and I can like move the car around. Not decided yet. I may just lower the car down and use a little dolly thing to move it around, but yeah, either way, I'll keep it somewhere safe. So now I've just got to do exactly the same job on the other side. And a short while later, that's the driver's side, the offside drive shaft out. Exact same process as before. I just didn't film it because the access wasn't great. But yeah, all done, hubs off on the floor. Yeah, these drive shaft clips are a pain, so that was like round there. And normally they've got like a little crimp on or something, but these ones didn't. I'm wondering if actually factory original or something bizarre like that. Anyway, it's done now. So, yeah, I think we're getting there. So I need to bag up all them parts and they'll go aside ready for cleaning. And then to get the engine out now, I think all I need to do is gearbox rod and the gearbox mounts, and then the engine mounts, obviously, and remove a little bit of wiring, and it should come out. However, I went and grabbed my, well, it's not actually mine, but I managed to borrow the old engine hoist there, and I did a dummy run before and I put it under, and I'm like, I don't think I've got enough room when I've got the engine lifted to be able to pull it back and to get it out, which might cause a problem. But I guess worst case scenario is I will have to jack or lift the engine up in the air. I'll then have to lower the car down. Obviously it's got no wheels on the front now, but I could put some dollies under it, a bit of wood or something, then just move it backwards a bit to enable me to shuffle around with the engine. But that's for the next video, or possibly the one after. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, press that like button. Please also consider subscribing. The majority of my viewers come from people who are not subscribed. So just press that little subscribe button and the bell icon, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And if you've got any comments or questions, drop them below. I respond to all of my comments. So with that, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.